Today on first round KO. Wow, I was jumbled there at the end. I'm joined by my friend Carter Secor, and we look back at the NBA draft from last night. We see how wrong my mock draft was from Wednesday, and we also discuss. I didn't write it in my script. I have to scroll down here. We talk the Jameis Winston suspension. That's going to be big for Tampa Bay. We talk about the Brewers. We talk about the Portugal flopping. We talk about, World Cup flopping in general. And we talk more about the NFL holdouts. So, let's get it.
Shock the system.
Welcome to the most must-hear WSUW talk show in history. Welcome to First Round KO. I am your host, KO, a.k.a. Howard J. Dingers, a.k.a. Jesus Aguilar Jr., a.k.a. Kyle Olsen, baby! And I'm joined by Carter Secor. Hi, Carter. Now your mic's on.
Hi, how are you?
I'm great.
That's good.
I love my intro so much.
I do too. Happy Friday.
Happy Friday, everyone. Oh, what a good one. This could be a good weekend.
Yeah, it will be.
Let's knock out some topics.
All right.
So, we start with the NBA draft. So, I did my mock draft, and my first overall pick was I had Marvin Bagley going first.
Really?
I really did. Because, really? And here's my reasoning. I don't know if did I write it in here? I did not. I just think he's the most NBA ready. I really think that his offensive game is more solidified right now, and I think especially coming out of Duke and being coached by Mike Krzyzewski, I think he's just mentally and physically maybe not physically over Ayton, but I think he's just his offensive game is so polished that I just think he's the most NBA ready.
Okay.
So that I had him going above Ayton. I think Ayton has a lot of upside, but there's a lot of risk. I think he could bust. I think there's a large. Although I like him going to Phoenix, he's got a lot of pieces to work around,
right?
And players to play with. So it could work out, but I think he could. He very well could be a bust.
Yeah, I think he's gonna be. Personally, I hated that pick even at number 2.
Bagley?
Yeah.
No, I think Ayton's gonna bust.
Yeah, I can actually see that.
I shouldn't say gonna. I think he can.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of players can be busts.
Right.
It really depends on what system they go into.
Yeah. In my mindset, I think Bagley is more of a sure thing than Ayton.
Okay.
Which is why I had him at 1.
Right. I mean, personally for me, I thought Ayton was obvious. It was always going to be Ayton.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then, I don't know, the reason I don't like Bagley going at number 2 was, one, he's not the best player on the floor, or not the best player on the board at the time. I thought Doncic was the number 2 pick there.
He technically slipped down to 5.
Yeah. And then I just thought that, I mean, either one of them not a good fit for Sacramento, especially since they're tanking right now. It's not good.
And that was my thing with Sacramento. Because I had them taking Ayton at 2, and I was like, at that point, you're not looking for a specific position or anything.
Right.
Sacramento's in a spot where the 76ers were a couple years ago, where they're just taking the best available player. Like, to take the best available and build around him later. Like, it's not like they're going to take Bagley and now they're contenders in the West.
Right, no.
So, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the thing with the NBA is, even if you do take the best players available and you build a good team, you still have to contend with the 2 super teams in the West and the super team now the 2 super teams in the East. It's like, it's crazy because
I know.
Well, 3 super teams because LeBron's going to LA, but
I really think he is too.
Yeah. Just another draft thing. So when the Cleveland Cavaliers drafted their player, I can't remember who it is. I watched a lot of picks last night.
We'll get to it.
Yeah. The ESPN reporter comes up and interviews him, and not congratulations on getting picked, not, oh my God, what are you going to do with your life? Can you convince LeBron to stay in
He
Cleveland?
said, "What's your pitch to LeBron to stay?" And he said, "Come back, baby. We'll win a championship."
Right.
I was like, you can't put this kid on like you can't just do that to him on the spot like that.
That's like Jay Cutler beating Brett Favre in a football game and asking after the game, "What did Brett Favre say to you?" Like, it's not about you; it's about the superstar. It's just totally
I know, it was
heartless.
terrible. I felt really bad for him. And we'll get to another pick was asked kind of like the same kind of thing later. I think it was whoever New York picked.
Oh yeah.
Kevin Knox.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we'll get to that too. But Ayton, I think he's a good pick if he pans out. Especially, he's got a lot of upside. Long dude who plays above the rim. He's a great rebounder.
Yeah.
And a crazy athlete. Like the dude, a lot of these NBA dudes are coming out of college, especially these ones and dones. They come in with a small frame. And they're very small, and then they become better athletes. This dude's coming in with an NBA body.
Right, and then he avoids the problems of that, there was this one forward from, I can't remember what college, but he was huge. He was like 7 feet tall, and he was the best player.
Today?
No, years ago. And then he split his kneecap like 4 times in the NBA. Because they made him put on like 40 extra pounds.
Right.
Yeah, and I can't remember who it is. I'm so sorry. But
No, yeah.
that's the exact thing that Ayton's going to be able to avoid, is that they're not going to try to put weight on him. I mean, for some people it helps. Look at Giannis. He was a string bean when he came into the league.
Dude's getting bigger and
He's
bigger.
Huge.
I love it.
But yeah,
Yeah, I understand the pick, but I still disagree. I
Right.
still think the number 2 pick who went to which I think Sacramento, they have a great piece to build around now. I think Bagley, I think he's going to be, I still think he's the most NBA ready. Obviously not maybe physically wise because Ayton has an NBA body already, but I think Sacramento's going to be able to build around him going forward.
Yeah, I think that Doncic would have been better, and
Yeah.
it's Sacramento. I mean,
The only thing I can argue for Bagley over Doncic at this point is Doncic, he played over in the Spanish league, and the last, I think it was 5 times that a player from an international league was picked top 3. The last one that made an All-Star game was Yao Ming.
wow.
Yep. The other ones, they showed a graphic on ESPN last night. I didn't recognize any of them. I was really sad, actually, because I was like, wow, that's disappointing.
Yeah, it is.
Because now it makes me look at Doncic like, oh, he's got some pressure.
Yeah, but the thing is, he's learning from Dirk Nowitzki. Like, that was
Exactly.
a steal for the Mavs there.
I think, yeah, Doncic, so technically he got drafted by Atlanta.
Yeah.
But then Atlanta, they had a trade negotiation down where if Trae Young didn't get picked at 4, the Mavericks would pick him at 5 and trade Doncic for Young, basically straight up, but I think Atlanta gets a pick next year.
They get a 2019 protected first round.
Right. So yeah, and so I think Doncic, I think it's a great fit.
Right.
It's a perfect fit in Dallas because Luka will now be able to learn from Dirk.
Yeah.
He'll be the heir to Dirk for sure. And the Mavericks, they were talking about it before the Mavericks even made the trade. Like Dallas had their eye on Luka all night because they really believe that he can become Dirk. He can become their next franchise player.
And their franchise is just so strong in general with how they run it.
Oh, absolutely. Cuban's doing something right.
Yeah.
Although something's wrong.
Right, but it's one of those things where they know how to run a basketball team, which is something you don't see every day in sports.
Right. Yeah.
Cleveland Browns, like, you got to know you can have as many first round picks, as many however many picks you want, but if you don't know how to run your team effectively and get the best result, you suck. I mean, obviously.
I'm really cheering for Baker Mayfield this year.
He's not even going to start.
I know. Which is okay.
Yeah.
Because Tyrod, he'll learn from Tyrod.
Tyrod was there for a reason.
Yes. But I just really want him to do I would feel so bad for him if he played 5 games and lost all 5
and be another Johnny Manziel.
Oh, man.
Which, by the way, he didn't even play his first game in the CFL. He got benched.
That's because he's still learning the rules.
Oh.
The rules for CFL are so much different. He's working on becoming a starter.
Oh, okay.
I listen to his podcast now. He has a podcast on Barstool. And I'm just such a huge fan. But yes, they're working him into a starting role.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's the whole story behind that.
I mean, it's not like the backup's any better.
Oh no.
There's your CFL.
There's some crazy.
I'm
I'm gonna do a whole show on Johnny because the whole CFL rules are crazy.
Right.
The punting situation of the CFL is freaking Oh, it's so confusing. Like, you can punt. Once you punt to them, the team, if it's in the end zone, if it stays in the end zone, the punter gets a point. But you can pick it up and punt it back to the team that just punted, and then they can punt it back. It's so confusing. I don't blame Johnny for not knowing the rules right now.
Right, yeah.
All right, anyway, back to this. So I think, Doncic, he has more upside, I think, than either of the first two, for sure.
Yeah.
But I think more risk also.
And that's also what
just because of he's coming out of, I think he's 18 right now. He's turning 19 this summer, but he's 18, and he's already been an MVP of the Spanish League.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, he was MVP this past year, which is why, and I don't know, but I think it works out for the best because of Dallas. I think the situation is perfect in Dallas.
Yeah, and to be honest, half my grades on these picks are where they're going to, and I know that's wrong because it's the first round and it's the crappy teams, but the Suns, there's a reason why Eric Bledsoe wanted to leave.
Yeah. Although now with these three young guys that they have, I think they can build something. Yeah, I really do. I think if they're able to eventually bring someone out of free agency, I think that'd be really, they got something special there.
Yeah,
if they can keep that young core. So then number 4, Memphis took Jaren Jackson Jr. out of Michigan State. And this makes sense because, I look back at my mock draft and I had them taking Luka Doncic because I thought Atlanta would take Mo Bamba.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I just think he's got a lot of upside too. But no, Jaren Jackson makes a lot of sense. Powerful. I wrote all my notes while I'm at work and I'm trying to do work, and then every pick would come in my ear and I would run to my laptop and take notes real quick. But yeah, Jaren Jackson makes sense. He's a power forward, center, kind of more power forward, just because of the size. He can play with Marc Gasol, even if Marc's only going to be there for another year.
Yeah,
and he can learn from him. But it's a good combo, kind of, because I mean, and plus this is a big, heavy draft.
Yeah.
So you kind of had to, but I think a power forward playing with Marc Gasol and then eventually replacing him, I think it's a good pick.
Yeah, and he's also young, which is always good in basketball. And he came out of Michigan State, which they have a really good program there, obviously.
And I had my biggest takeaway was he's mostly more of a defensive player. Yeah. Which is perfect. Obviously, you think of Memphis, you think of their tough defense. So I think him and Mark Connolly, I think eventually, because obviously they're not Mike Connolly, they're going to keep both of them, and I think that they can build, another tough defense in Memphis.
Yeah, my only concern is if he's going to be able to stay out of foul trouble.
Yep. Because what was he? He averaged like 2 blocks a game or something like that.
Yeah, but
he averaged 6. He fouled out almost every game. He averaged 6 fouls a game. So that's definitely an issue. He's going to have to clean that up.
With the way that the NBA officiates, it's so just random.
That's true. And if he plays like a team like Golden State or something, he's going to foul out in the third quarter.
Or Houston.
Oh, no. Houston, I saw this morning, Houston signed undrafted guard out of Duke, Trayvon Duval.
Really?
To their G League.
Okay.
But yeah, I like that a lot. I thought Trayvon could have got drafted first round.
Yeah, I mean,
he's got talent.
It's just more missed threes.
Exactly. Yeah. So if he cleans that up, he's gonna be a good addition to that Rockets team. So yeah, Jaren Jackson, good pick. So then we get to the 5th pick, and Trae Young fell to Dallas. So Trae Young got traded to Atlanta.
It's a good fit.
It's interesting.
Yeah,
it is. It is a good fit, but it's interesting because now he is. I think Dennis Schroeder's leaving Atlanta.
Yeah, because Travis Schlenk is there, I think. I don't know how to pronounce that last name.
Okay.
He's the former Warriors executive.
Ah, yes. Yeah. So Atlanta's in full rebuild.
Yeah.
For sure.
As they should be.
As they should be. They lost. Yeah. So yeah, he's a new player to build around for sure. He's good. I think it's very risky. Very, very risky because of his height. But I think this pays off.
But he's also the best shooter.
I think he's the next Steph. I don't think he gets to the level of Steph, but I think he's going to be that next player who's hitting
just ridiculous
6 or 7 threes a game.
Yeah,
and he will impact the culture in Atlanta.
I think he has the potential to be Steph. I think he'll get as far. He won't be a superstar,
right?
But he'll be like
And by the way, Steph is the only reason he got picked top 5.
Yeah.
If Steph Curry doesn't come out in his career and have this kind of impact, Trae Young drops to the 2nd round, I think.
Well, yeah,
much like Steph did.
Yeah, you can say that for pretty much all 3-point shooters in the league.
That's true. But I think Trey specifically because he's short and he's got the quick release. He's very much, but he is. I think he's a better passer than Steph.
Yeah,
Steph's creative, but he has a lot more leeway because people are up on him, and then he's got the driving ability, so he's able to make easier passes. Yeah. But I think Trey can make those harder passes that Steph can't.
Yeah, and I mean, the Warriors' offense is built around entirely spreading the floor so you get someone in the corner, obviously. Yeah. Travis Schlenk is not a coach. He's the GM now.
He's the GM,
yeah.
Okay.
Just wanted to make sure that.
Yeah, I don't know who their coach even is.
Well, because they lost Budenholzer, yeah.
To us. But I think they got rid of him a year or two ago.
No, they got rid of him this year.
Oh, was it this year? I didn't know he was still coaching. Excuse me. Interesting. I don't know who their coach is now. They hired
Lloyd Pierce.
Okay.
Does that sound about right?
Sure.
It
does, actually. Okay, moving on. Number 6, Orlando. Sorry. Orlando took Mo Bamba, which is great.
He's the next Shaq.
Yeah. Except he's like 200 pounds lighter than Shaq.
Right, and I think he's got a bigger wingspan.
Dude's got a 7'10 wingspan.
Yeah, that's insane.
Oh my goodness! I think it's officially the longest.
It is.
The minute he got drafted, it's the longest in the NBA.
That's crazy.
And yeah, so going back to my mock draft too, I think I had them taking Jaren Jackson. Yeah.
Really?
I had Jaren Jackson falling, so I had Orlando taking
wrong.
a big. I was very wrong. Like I said, most of these, I only got 2 picks right in my 11 picks. And we'll get to those soon. Yeah, but basically my argument was I had them taking a big guy, and Jaren Jackson was the best available in my mock. I didn't think Mo Bamba I don't think he should have fell this far, but I mean, kind of looking back, it makes sense.
Yeah, especially with the Hawks and the Dallas kind of work deal thing.
Right.
If he wasn't going to get picked by one of those teams, he wasn't going to get picked in the top 5.
And I wasn't predicting any trades. I figured something would happen, but I wasn't going to try to get into it because that's impossible to predict.
There were some crazy trades.
It was weird. But yeah, I said that they needed a big guy to play with Nikola. And I think Mo was going to be fantastic because now Mo can play center and Nikola can play more of the stretch 4 because he's got a shot. Nikola Vucevic. Mm-hmm. So I think that combo is going to be great. If they can hold on to Aaron Gordon, that's going to be a big team. If they can find it, and they got that Isaac dude, I think he's going to be a good shooter.
Oh, he is.
So I think they're starting to build something if they can keep Aaron Gordon.
Yep.
Yeah.
Can we just reflect that besides Luka, all of the first 9 picks besides Luka were freshmen?
Really?
Yeah, every single one.
And I mean, Luka technically
he is, but he never went to college.
Right. But like he's the same age.
Yeah.
Wow. And then because then number 10
is junior.
Was he a junior?
Mikal Bridges.
Yeah, because I knew he stayed a couple years at Villanova. Yeah, we'll get to him.
It's always good to stay in school.
So number 7 was one of them that I actually called. I actually picked this one. Wendell Carter to Chicago. He's a smart dude. He turned down going to Harvard. So like he got accepted into Harvard with scholarships, but he also got scouted
by Duke.
So he was like, "Okay, do I go? I mean, compete for a championship at Duke, or or go dominate the Ivy League,
right?
And get it." And he chose to go play for Krzyzewski.
I mean, they're comparable academically. Like Harvard's got the better name, but it's like Duke has always wanted to be an Ivy school. So
exactly. Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah, apparently his parents, he decided, he was like, yeah, guys, I'm going to Duke. And then for weeks after, they were still just wearing Harvard sweatshirts. and they were like, yeah, we think he should still go.
like that mom who her son chose Florida or something.
Oh, my God, yes. And then she got up and left. She's wearing all like Alabama stuff. And she just gets up and leaves. That was so funny.
Why wouldn't you choose Alabama? But that's just me.
Yeah, for college football. He was a wide receiver.
Anyway.
Especially with Tua at quarterback now.
Yeah.
That's dumb. But yeah.
No, but great pick.
Great pick. He's going to... Him and Levine and Markkanen, they have a nice young core now, too.
I think he could be a role player. He's not going to be like a super... He's not going to be a Butler type.
No, and he's going to be... Because of his IQ, I mentioned that because he's going to have a smart basketball IQ. He's going to be able to... He's going to be that rebounding defensive dude from Chicago. and because Markkinen and Levine are going to be their two options on offense.
Right.
And Chris Dunn now they have two. I think he'd be their backup point guard, probably shooting guard. But yeah, he's not going to be a huge impact player. I think he's going to be one of those scrappy players.
Yeah.
Who comes in, gives you solid quality minutes.
Yeah, he's going to be. I was going to say Shane Labazier, but that's way too long ago. But he's going to be one of those players that you can count on to do things when you need him.
Like want to get a rebound at the end of the game.
Right. Ivan Shumpert during the playoffs this year, whenever we needed a good run, he would always come in.
Yeah.
And if he stays healthy and you keep him happy, he'll stay in Chicago for a long time.
I agree. I think he's going to be happy. I listened to him he had an interview on Pardon My Take this morning on their podcast. I love their podcast.
They're just the front page of journalism, aren't they?
Yeah, the big J journalist. They interviewed him on Tuesday, but then released it this morning, and they said, what if you do go to Chicago? And he said that'd be fantastic. I want to play with Markkinen. I want to play with Levine. So he's excited. He wants to be there. So I think so now here comes Cleveland, and I had Cleveland taking Michael Porter. I had Michael Porter dropping, and I had Cleveland take. But then I'm sitting there at work, right, and I'm listening, and Cleveland comes up, and I'm like, it's like 30 seconds left of their pick, and I'm sitting there, I'm like, they're gonna take Sexton. I didn't even I have Sexton in my mock. I think I had them going 10th to the Sixers.
Okay.
And then all of a sudden, for some reason, I'm sitting there, I'm like, they're going to take Sexton. It's like, why wouldn't they take Sexton? He's great at it. They did. They take Colin Sexton. MJP, I think he would have a great pick, but the injuries apparently were very, very scary for Michael Porter. For a lot of teams, he dropped all the way down to 14.
Wow.
And I'll get to that later. That's part of my stuff later.
And the thing about him is, like, he is a freshman, but he has the back of, like, a 25-year-old.
And I think he played 2 games.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have come out if I were him. I would have played another year.
Yeah, but you don't want to get hurt again. That's the thing.
Play limited minutes.
But then you'll be known as a player who doesn't play. I mean, granted, you only played 2 games.
Okay, let's go back to, I want to say it's 2011. Duke had this star young point guard who sat out for the NCAA tournament and then got drafted number 1 by the Cleveland Cavaliers. Kyrie Irving. Just saying.
Wait. Did he really sit out for the entire...
Yep, I believe that was the year they got beat by Lehigh.
They did, yeah.
In the first round. But yeah, Kyrie sat out. He said, I'm going to the draft. I don't want to get hurt in this tournament. I'm not playing. Yep. I was so mad and disappointed.
Coach K hates him.
Oh, absolutely. I would believe it. But yeah, so they take Colin Sexton. I think Sexton is going to be a less talented Kyrie, but I think he is their next Kyrie point guard type.
Yeah, and they need offense.
Exactly.
They just don't have any.
Yeah.
Especially during the later playoffs against the Celtics and the Warriors, against those physical defenses. It was all LeBron. And if you can't, like, they would try to drive to the hoop, and then they would go back. So it's just like they need someone who's not afraid to get down and dirty.
And he's an excellent finisher. His shot hasn't developed yet, but I think it can in the NBA.
Yeah.
But he's an excellent driver and finisher. So I think that's going to be perfect. And I honestly think LeBron, this kind of intrigues LeBron. I think he's a good point guard that LeBron...
He's not coming back.
I don't think so, but I think it strengthens the argument.
Yeah.
I think...
But I mean, anyone they would have picked in the top 10.
Although, I still remember his last year in Miami. Everyone was like, "Oh, LeBron really wants to play with Shabazz Napier," and then Miami picked him, and then he still left, and now he's nowhere to be seen in Miami. Like they only picked him for LeBron. So I think he'll be a solid piece even if LeBron leaves.
LeBron should just stop going to basketball teams. He should just make his own, start his own.
I think he should just stay somewhere.
I mean, yeah, but he wants to run it.
But he needs to. That's the thing. He needs to be at a competent place where he doesn't need to run it.
Yeah,
which is, I think. Magic Johnson's pretty competent.
Oh, that's going to be it. They're going to butt heads all day. So? Yeah, well, we've seen it every single time that like LeBron doesn't like a coach or he doesn't like a player. He gets them traded. Maybe I'm just buying into the like.
Right. See. Here's my argument against that though. Magic Johnson's a player, former player, so I think he'll be a lot more lenient and understanding with LeBron. And Luke Walton is also a former player. So
okay.
I think that meshes really well.
Yeah.
I don't think they're not coach first, they're players.
Right. I don't know. If I'm Magic, I don't want the distraction. I don't even want the opportunity for distraction, even if it's LeBron.
Which is why they didn't pick LiAngelo Ball in
Yeah.
the second. I'm so happy they did. Oh, if they would have picked him. My brother's sitting here. He was talking to me. He's a huge Ball family fan. Loves all of them, LeVar and his kids.
Oh,
and
sweet
he's
summer child.
And I said to him, I said, they're not getting drafted. He's not getting drafted tomorrow. He goes, oh, well, absolutely. The Lakers are going to take. I said, no. Jello is not NBA ready. He's not going to get drafted.
No.
And there, LeVar sitting there. I love the picture that was going around of LeVar just sitting there, all crossed face. So he was so disappointed. He was ready for LiAngelo to hit the league. Jesus. So yeah, the Knicks came up, and this was interesting because the Knicks come up and they were chanting for MJP. They said all the Knicks fans, we want Porter. We want. And then this dude, Kevin Knox, gets drafted, and they warm up to it, whatever. They interview this dude, and they go, so what do you think about them chanting for Porter? I'm like, come on, don't ask him this now. But he handled it really well. He was like, you know what? That's motivation. Do it. Keep chanting for other players.
But that's ESPN, like all day. They want drama. They want hot takes.
Yeah, because they need ratings.
Yeah. They're going down to 2.
He's the best two-way player in this draft. I think he's got a very balanced offensive defense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But MJP would have been better.
I agree. He's the safer pick, though.
Yeah.
And I think Kevin Knox is very athletic, so I think he doesn't absolutely need to be offensive either because of Kristaps. So I think he's going to be a good pair.
Yeah.
For
is
Kristaps.
Lynn still playing there?
Who?
Jeremy Lin? Or did he move on a while ago?
No, he moved on. Yeah,
Okay.
he was in Brooklyn and then in Charlotte, I think.
Oh, wow. That's bad.
And I don't know if he's even in Charlotte anymore.
No, he's not.
No, I don't know where he is anymore. But yeah, yeah, a lot of potential. I don't see a lot of risk with him. I think he'll be a solid player.
Yeah. He's not. He doesn't have the raw talent that MJP had,
Right.
though.
So yeah, I do think
MPJ.
They easily could have took MPJ.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they didn't. So
Yeah.
it's whatever.
When did the Knicks ever pick someone that their fans want?
Never, because they're not about servicing their fans.
Remember when they booed Kristaps? Kristaps Porzingis. Boo.
Yeah.
That was crazy.
It's New York, though. If they don't get what they want, they riot.
Yeah, that's true. Jeez. Oh, man. I love sports fans. Philadelphia at number 10, picking Mikal Bridges out of Villanova. He's the oldest player. Well, not oldest, but oldest in the top 10 at least.
Yeah. It's a...
I think it's good.
Was this the trade that Zaire got traded on?
No.
Or was that later? That's later. Okay.
Wait. No, it is. I forgot about this. I didn't even hear about this until
Philly
this morning.
had 16 somewhere.
Yeah, no, so Zaire Smith. Yep, so apparently at 16, the Suns took Zaire Smith.
Yeah.
And then they traded Mikal for Zaire.
Right, that's
and
how...
probably another pick in there.
The 2021 unprotected first rounder from Miami.
Which is crazy. So here's the story
That's crazy
behind
for
this.
multiple reasons.
There's so many reasons. So first of all, Mikal Bridges played at Villanova.
Right.
In Philadelphia. So, like, they were going to be... He was super happy about it. His mother works in the front office of the 76ers.
Oh.
And there was this great moment where he got drafted and he hugged his mom and they were super happy.
Oh, no.
And he interviewed with the Sixers hat on and everything. And then apparently they just traded him away. Can you... Oh.
That's got to hurt.
Oh, that's so bad.
I would quit my job.
For Zaire, for a 16 pick. So if I'm Mikal Bridges, though, I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
I'm going to play with Phoenix instead of in the process because the process is a little... distracting right now, yeah. He would have been a decent fit. I still have notes that he's in Philadelphia right now. I didn't even change that. Yeah, I think that's a good for him and for him to be more of a role player in Phoenix, and he can develop more because there's not expectations right now.
Right. Another reason why that trade is crazy is mainly because of the pick, because 2021 is the year that if they change the rule, high schoolers can come into the league.
I'm pretty sure they're trying to make a rule to get rid of one and dones.
Yeah, they are. So if they do that, 2021 will be that year.
So wait, They would get rid of one and dones, but high schoolers can enter instead?
Well, that's how it would work.
Oh,
if you get rid of one and dones, you don't have to play in college.
Oh, no. I thought they were forcing people to play 2
No,
years.
no.
Oh, I don't like this at all. I'd rather have one and dones.
Yeah,
I'd rather people at least get a college experience.
but if they don't want it, they don't want it. That's like saying I want people to go to a 4-year and they go to a technical.
I guess.
Of course, then they always complain about how they didn't get the college experience. But
Wow.
no, because the hype is all around Dwayne Wade and his son playing together, and then LeBron and his kid playing together.
LeBron flat out said he wants to play with his kid.
Yeah, but so it's
that's
crazy because
interesting.
that's a big year for that trade, and it's unprotected too. So if Miami tanks, they're going to
Miami
Heat, because that's who the pick was. It was Miami's 2021.
Oh, that Phoenix had?
Yeah.
And they trade. Okay. I see what you mean.
So if
Which I
they
think
tank,
they will, because I think Dwayne Wade's out soon. He's old, and I think they're going to get rid of Hassan Whiteside.
right, and they already traded away the pick, and it's not like they're going to get it back. So, and there's going to be it's
super
going to be a
interesting.
buyer's market on or a seller's market on high school players coming into the league that year.
Yeah. So okay, wait.
But that's why that was cray.
Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, going back to my mock, I had Trae Young falling all the way to 9 in New York, which that would have been so good. Trae Young and Porzingis in New York, I
Yeah.
would have loved that. I was really onto that, and then I had Philly taking Colin Sexton, taking point guard minutes away from Ben Simmons, which would have been nice. But I think
Is Ben Simmons a traditional point guard, or is he forward?
he's listed at power forward.
Okay. He should just stay there. He's
I
got
agree.
the height on everyone.
I agree.
And all he needs is the mid-range jump shot.
Which he's terrible at.
Yeah,
but yes, if he
but
develops some sort of shot.
Him and Giannis, all they need is a mid-range jump shot, and they're gods.
Giannis has been getting better, too.
I know.
Every year.
That's why I'm excited.
I'm so excited. And I'm even more excited now because we go on to what was my 11th pick in my mock draft, but it was the 17th pick in the draft. The Bucks taking Dante DiVincenzo out of Villanova.
The Michael Jordan of Delaware?
I love this pick so much.
I do too.
It's gonna be so good. I said it on my show. I put the clip around all on social media last night. I was so excited. I called this and because he's such a perfect fit.
He is
for Milwaukee.
And
he's a scrappy dude who's gonna come off the bench like he did in Villanova. He's gonna hit threes. He's gonna play very irritating defense, much like Dellavedova.
And if Bledsoe doesn't pan out, you can put him in at that position.
Exactly.
Which I don't think he's going to, but
I'm
that
so
remains to
happy
be
about
seen.
that. And he's athletic too.
Yeah.
The dude's vertical is crazy. I don't remember what it is exactly. But yeah, and Budenholzer's gonna have a field day coaching him.
Yeah.
He's gonna be able to use him in different spots.
Well, because that's what 4 great players: Giannis, Jabari, Middleton.
I still think we're gonna lose Jabari. We'll see about. I think he's a free agent.
Yeah, he is, but it's like
Yeah, it's interesting. But if we do keep him, we have Middleton. And that's the interesting thing because he would come off the bench and be the 6th man behind Middleton.
Right.
And he would be able to carry some of that offense that Middleton has, but he adds that defensive presence that Middleton doesn't have. So, so I think it's really nice.
But then Maker gets shoved out of that starting lineup, doesn't he? Because it would be.
I don't think DiVincenzo starts though. Maybe eventually.
But even if he's 6 man, Maker would get shoved out of the.
Yeah, either Parker or Maker, or they would switch off. That type of thing. Because they can always put. Yeah, Giannis would be 4, and then Thon or Parker.
Yeah, and you might want to switch him off so that Jabari doesn't tear his knee again.
Jeez, I really hope so. But yeah, great pick. I'm so happy with Wisconsin sports picking this year or drafting this year. Obviously, the Bucks have been doing a decent job the past couple of years, but this year
they've been in full rebuild since.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But I think about their last 4 picks: Malcolm Brogdon and Thon Maker 2 years ago. Great picks. DJ Wilson, who I think is going to be good. He's a long, athletic dude who they picked out of Michigan last year.
He's the guy with the throw right. Yeah. I don't like him.
Really?
I saw him at a G League game.
Ooh, okay.
He did not know what he was doing on defense.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I hope. Well, see, now we got Budenholzer, who's defensive coach.
Yeah, but still.
Hopefully he can. I don't know.
It doesn't matter who the coach is. He looks clueless out there.
That's fair.
Granted, that was G League, but
that's fair. I think DJ Wilson was a solid pick, and now DiVincenzo.
Yeah.
And Dante is going to be great fit in Milwaukee. Fantastic.
Yeah. And he's He's a little older. He's what, 20? Because he was a redshirt sophomore.
Was he really?
Yeah. So
Yeah,
he would be 20.
Yeah.
19, 20. So doesn't have the. I mean, 2
He's got
years.
championship experience.
Yeah.
That's the biggest thing.
Multiple years of championship experience.
Yep. So I think it's great.
Yeah.
So we're not going to go through every pick.
Do you have any other highlights?
The only other highlights, I have one that I'm going to save for later.
Okay.
For my one last thing. But a couple other bigger picks, I would say Grayson Allen in Utah is going to be interesting because he gets to play with Donovan Mitchell. Donovan Mitchell, I'm pretty sure, slapped Grayson Allen in college a couple of years ago when they were both in the NCAA. So that should be fun. But I think he's a good fit. I think Utah will like him.
Yeah.
The fans will like him in Utah, but everywhere else they'll hate him. Yeah. And then my other big pick was the Lakers, actually, with Moritz Wagner out of Michigan.
Okay.
I think he's a very solid offensive player.
Yeah, he is.
And he has very good defensive instincts.
Yep.
He's not great on defense, but he knows the spots that he needs to be.
Right, and he can make free throws.
Yes, that's the other thing. So I think he's a good fit with Kuzma.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My highlight is Kostas Antetokounmpo.
Yes. Being the last pick,
Yeah.
I saw that. I was really excited.
No, he was 24th, wasn't he? No, he was the last pick, yeah.
Yeah, no, he was the...
But he's going to Philly, so he's got the process.
Ooh, okay. Process. Antetokounmpo is the process.
The draft thing I'm looking at is really confusing on how
It's
they
definitely
break trades.
yeah. Oh, okay. Ooh, yeah, that's
He
true.
was the last pick. I just can't remember who made him.
Let's see what they say here. Yeah, I
But
think he's going to be...
I mean, because people in like Buck circles were talking, we should pick Costa.
Wright's traded to Dallas.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
So he's in
Houston. Philly. Houston?
Yeah. Philadelphia had the pick from
And they traded-
Houston.
okay.
But then they traded the rights to Dallas, I guess.
Oh, okay.
So that must have been another mix somewhere. Probably up here.
Sorry, NBA.
Yep.
NBA.
So the
draft's getting
24th.
confused.
So yeah. So technically he 24th.
Okay, yeah.
Because they picked someone, Shake Milton,
Right.
with the 24, and then yeah. Okay. I see where you got that then.
But a lot of people in Buck circles were saying, we should draft Costa, and I was like, no, that's a horrible idea.
I don't like it.
Because if you cut him, then Giannis gets pissed.
Yeah.
And Wisconsin sports teams are beholden to their superstars now.
Yeah, and family, yeah. I don't think family's a good idea.
No, it's not.
We can look in LA Clippers for that.
Yeah.
I think that's an interesting situation.
It was a really quality draft, though.
I agree.
It was a strong draft class. It
was.
wasn't.
And it was big heavy, which I think is good for the future of NBA.
It is because hopefully it'll stop teams from just cheesing, spreading the floor, and shooting threes.
I completely agree.
Because that's not basketball.
Colin Sexton took number 2.
Really?
So he's really the new Kyrie.
Yeah.
I love it so much. Yeah, so that's enough NBA draft. It was super fun.
Yeah, it
was a good draft. So the next thing we're going to talk about is the Jameis Winston suspension. This is interesting.
Yeah.
So allegedly, in 2016, 2 years ago, Jameis Winston got into a Uber, and he sat front seat. I think he was with a couple of his friends.
Okay.
So they sat back seat, and he sat up front.
Of course, because he's famous Jameis.
Right, because I read this, and they're like, yeah, he sat up front. And I was like, okay, first of all, that screams to me that this is weird. But as I read his quote, I think he said something about him being with his friends.
Yeah.
And the driver being confused about the number of people. But so apparently he was sitting front seat and apparently grabbed the crotch of his female Uber driver.
Huh.
Which, if true, is very sad. So he's getting a three-game suspension. I think they said they're still slightly investigating, so it could be bumped either way.
Right.
But right now it's a 3-game suspension for the beginning of the 2018 season. So Tampa Bay is going to have to start their season with Ryan Fitzpatrick.
And they're not going to make the playoffs because of it.
Did you see their first 3 games? Week 1, they play New Orleans. And then they play Philadelphia, the defending champions. And then they play Pittsburgh.
Oh, that's horrible.
So they're starting 0-3.
Right. Well, and the thing is, there have only been 3 teams in the entire history of the NFL that have gone 0-3 to start their first 3 games and make the playoffs.
And one of them was New Orleans, I believe.
Yeah. So they're
Yeah.
missing the playoffs, and this has ripple effects.
This has a lot of ripple effects.
I'm sorry for Jameis. Well, I'm not sorry for Jameis. He did a bad thing. Even if he didn't, it's just stupid to even put yourself in that situation.
Yes, I agree.
The NFL had to do it, especially in today's climate. You can't be seen as being soft on anything.
Yep.
So they had to do it.
You have to crack down on everything.
This is really the Bucs' fault for not having a competent backup quarterback.
Which, okay, we're crapping on Fitzpatrick here, but he is a solid dude. I think his completion percentage last year was either 49 or 59%.
At the Jets, and I don't think he barely threw beyond the line of scrimmage.
That's fair. Yeah, and he did. I mean, his one contract year in Buffalo was decent.
Right.
But then he got paid a lot of money and didn't do anything.
Yeah, and I mean, yeah, he went to Harvard, but meh.
58.9%.
Yeah.
And 1,103 yards.
Yeah. So this is really Jameis gets suspended, not suspended. It doesn't matter. This is really the Bucs' fault for not having a competent backup quarterback.
Yes.
And this means that it's going to be either the Saints or the Panthers winning the division because I don't believe in Atlanta right now.
Really?
Ever since 28
and now that they got they got stuff with Julio now too.
Yeah. I don't believe in Atlanta. I don't think they're going to make the playoffs. So it's going to be like this is.
I could see Carolina coming, having a decent year again.
Well, because when Cam's on, he's on.
Mm-hmm.
When he's not, that team falls apart. But
he's such a hot and cold player.
He is.
I think, but it's a season at a time.
Yeah, it
like,
is.
He either is really good for a whole season or he's not. He's
right.
Just an average quarterback.
Or they have an easy schedule.
That too. Yeah.
But
yeah,
so
this impacts the whole.
Well, it impacts the NFC South directly,
Yes.
obviously, and then it impacts the entire NFC in general because this changes. Like teams that are hunting for wild card have a better chance to do so.
Yeah.
So,
although, yeah, kind of because I don't think Tampa Bay was hunting for it in their division.
Well, the thing is, they haven't had like. Jameis got hurt last season.
Mm-hmm.
That was like a season that they could have done it because they brought in Grimes. No, they brought in some players, and
I think they had Grimes.
They
had Revis at some point.
Yeah, they did. So they brought in some players, and they were. If Jameis hadn't gotten hurt, they had a shot to make the wild card.
I agree.
But this throws that all in the water. So,
yeah, I can see that. I just think with those other three teams in their division, it's tough any season.
Yeah.
As long as Matt Ryan, Drew Brees, and Cam Newton are in that division, I think the Bucs are kind of screwed.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, and let's be honest, it's not like Jameis Winston is a Pro Bowl caliber quarterback or a NFL All-Star or whatever. He's not. He's decent. He's not amazing. He's not Super Bowl worthy. If he is, he's a Trent Dilfer.
Trent Dilfer or Joe Flacco.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, dual quarterback system in Baltimore. What the heck are they thinking?
It's that's their fancy way of saying we're going to put Lamar at wide receiver.
They're ruining that player.
I agree. I wanted Lamar to go to Jacksonville. I really wanted him to go to Jacksonville.
If you're a quarterback in college, stay away from the Washington area football teams. They will ruin you.
Oh my God.
But yeah, it's bad. So James is getting suspended. The Bucs are out of the playoffs. Saints are probably going to make the playoffs again. Beat the Vikings in a revenge game in the divisional.
I hope so.
Yeah.
I don't. That's another thing I'm going to talk. I don't think the Vikings are.
No, they're not going to be. Kirk Cousins is going to.
I don't think Cousins is that good.
No, he's not. He's 7-9.
True. That team is just talented enough, though.
Well, the thing is, because they have a good defense.
Yeah.
It's like having an ace pitcher pitch Game 7 in the World Series.
Yeah.
If they can't score, you can't lose.
Yeah.
But the second their offense falls apart or they start turning over the ball and their defense gets stuck in bad situations, they lose. I mean, that's for any team, but especially for the Vikings.
Right. Yeah. So I think against the Packers this year, I think they're going to have a tough time.
Yeah, they are. Because
I think Aaron's going to be able to score on them unless he breaks his collarbone again.
Shh.
Knock on wood.
That's not wood.
This is wood. There's a clipboard here.
Oh, good.
Yeah. No, I think he's going to put points up on them.
Yeah.
I think he can put points on any defense.
And I just think especially next year and the year after, they're going to have a really bad cap situation. And
because I'm pretty sure Anthony Barr is a free agent after this season,
Yep,
and
he is.
Harrison Smith.
Yeah, and
Both of them.
if you
There's another one too.
well, and then they're gonna
Kendricks, maybe.
2020. I think I looked at this a bunch of times,
Okay.
but there's a 1 year where they have a bunch of veteran players on their last year of their contract, and Vikings fans always want to think that they're going to resign because they love the team and they want to win championships. This is the NFL. No one does that
But the
anymore.
Vikings have never. There's a reason that they're purple. It's because they've been choking for 100 years. Okay, so enough of the NFL. That Jameis, I really hope that's not true.
I hope it's not true.
I don't know.
I hope he didn't do what they say he did,
Yes.
because that's a bad thing.
That's terrible.
But if he did do that thing, what was he thinking? And
Yeah.
he should be suspended.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm going to say about that.
Yeah. So next we're gonna move on to the Brewers. They're still
Best team in baseball.
They, I don't know about that. I like the move. I like them bringing up Freddie Peralta.
Yeah.
I think that's the best move that they've made. I can't believe they sent him back down after his first game. I
Yeah.
think they needed to keep him in the rotation. I think he's talented enough.
Well, the thing is, Albers is hurt now, so they needed a good pitcher.
I think they just need a starting pitcher, though. Like, Albers, I don't know.
Well, Anderson's there, but he's
He's not performing.
He does, but then he doesn't. Like, in that Cubs series, he was great. The very next series, though, I think it was against the Phillies, he was horrible.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's one of those things where it really depends on how he feels.
He's our opening day starter, though.
Yeah.
He should be better. Although
Yeah.
the past 2 years now, Junior Guerrero didn't do good last year either, and he was our opening day.
No, but he got hurt right away on opening day last year.
That's true too. I don't know. Him and Chacin have been our stars.
Yeah, Chacin's
Guerrero.
really good.
Chacin's been after his. I think his first 2 starts were a little shaky.
Yep.
But now he's been solid for us, and I think I'm convinced. Me and Kyle were talking about this. We're convinced that Freddie Peralta is like the next big thing for Milwaukee. He's fantastic. He's in now 2 starts. He's allowed 2 hits, and that was in this last start.
Yeah.
His first game, he no hit through 6 innings.
That's against St. Louis.
Right.
St. Louis is decent. We got creamed by them on opening day,
Yeah.
but it's like, or not opening day, home opener. The home opener, Miller Park.
Oh yeah.
But they've really kind of fallen off the wagon the past month or so.
And they even got Molina back,
Mhm.
and he's been messing up too. He missed a pass ball yesterday. I don't know, but
It'll be interesting to see if Hader can stay where he's at.
even if he stays at 75,
Yeah.
that's 75% of what he's doing right now.
But it'd
Yeah.
also be interesting to see if he stays on the team.
You think they'd trade him?
No, but if he
Oh.
comes up on a contract year. Like, I'm thinking long term.
That's fair. He's probably on arbitration for a while though.
Yeah.
He's a young dude.
And then Jeffress is really good. The pitching staff is a lot better than it has been.
It's the bullpen that's the strength.
Yeah.
The starters are shaky. It's
except
really
for-
only like Peralta. I think he's solid now that he's actually in the rotation.
Yeah.
And then there's Chacin and Guerrero.
Well-
But they can have their off days. Like,
Yeah.
They can have really bad off days.
And-
but then you look at Davies. He's hurt right now. He's
But
not doing good this year. He's bad. He's like 1-7.
I thought he was, well,
I'm pretty sure he's 1-7.
but I think most of those losses were because the bullpen blew it. Because
That's
I
hard to believe.
remember watching I remember watching multiple of those games and then having like Oliver Drake come in and walk 4 guys.
Yeah.
Or Drake Oliver, whatever. the heck his name is.
It's Oliver Drake. Yeah, I don't know. And then Chase Anderson has not been doing as well as we thought he was going to.
Right.
I think once Jimmy Nelson comes back and we keep Freddie Peralta, Yolis, and Junior in the rotation,
Yeah.
we need to go get someone.
Yep. That's all they need is they need
If
a
we go
good starting
get
pitcher.
a starting pitcher like Chris Archer or Thor, Syndergaard from... I love that they call him Thor. That's so cool.
You saw the video of him getting in the face of the umpire, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
I love it. Yeah, either one of the pitchers. It's Syndergaard and...
Oh, this is gonna bug me.
Yep, it is going to bug me now, too. Someone else from the Mets.
Yeah.
If we can just go get a solid quality starting pitcher from the Mets, it would be very helpful. And then because then our bullpen, I believe our bullpen's going to stay...
DeGrom.
Yeah. That's who it is. I think our bullpen's going to stay consistent.
Yep.
I think Hader's going to be fine at least this year. I
Yeah.
don't know what his but I think he's going to stay dominant. Corey Knebel, if he stays healthy, he's going to be a great closer for
Yep.
us. Jeremy Jeffress he's just good in Milwaukee for some
Yeah.
reason. Like he was terrible in Texas. When he left Milwaukee the first time and came back, like he was bad in Texas.
I think it's a pitching staff thing.
It might be.
I think it's really a coaching thing for him. But
yeah. But now he's good. He's the starter's closer. Yeah, and those three guys are really the solid.
Matt Albers is like money if you get him into a mid-game situation where you need outs.
Is he the guy that's hurt, right? He's the starter that got hurt, right?
No, he's the huge guy.
No. He is a reliever.
Yeah, he is. He's a reliever. He's the huge guy that came from the Phillies.
Who am I thinking?
I
went to go see this game. It was against the Indians, and he started that game and got hurt in the first inning, and then Suter had to come in. I
know who you're thinking of.
You know what I mean? I can't think of his name now.
Was it Knebel?
No, because he was a starter.
And I remember hearing about. I can't remember who it was.
I don't know.
I think that was Davies.
But I don't think no. He's a bigger dude that we just got or something. Huh. He wasn't in the rotation before. But yeah, the Brewers. I've been saying this. My listeners will know. My theory on this: the Brewers always do bad after the All-Star break.
Yeah.
I think this year we get a couple people into the All-Star game. I think Kane, Yelich, or Shaw, or even Aguilar at this point. I think one of them get into the game and then they carry the momentum for the Brewers. That's just my and Hader. I think he'll get in there too. But that's just my theory. That's why I think they're gonna continue their success. After All-Star break this year. The
thing is, it's going to be a scoreboard watching battle all season because we don't play the Cubs next until September.
Really?
I'm pretty sure that's what the schedule says.
Wow.
So
that'd be crazy.
Well, the thing is, if we don't play the Cubs until September and it's like a 1-game gap throughout the entire season, those series are going to be huge.
Yeah, they're going to be big, especially if we stay neck and neck like this.
Right, because that's why it was huge for us to win that series 2 weeks ago now. But my thing is their pitching can be great or bad, but you have to score runs to win games.
Oh, no, that's... Never mind.
You have to score runs to win games, and we can't keep getting shut out.
Yep.
Like, when our bats are quiet, they're comatose.
It feels like, especially recently, we're either scoring 0 or 11.
Yeah.
I don't get it. I don't know. It's interesting. But I think they're in a good spot.
Yeah. It'll just be interesting to see if they don't choke like they did last year. Being a Wisconsin sports fan is hard on your GPA, your heart, and your liver. Because you want to stay up to watch these games because they always go into freaking extra innings, and there's a reason we're called the cardiac crew. And then it's like when we lose, I just drown myself in vodka. So
yeah, I agree. Yeah. Okay. Next, we go into the World Cup. So you wanted to talk about this?
Yes. I think it was against Iran.
Also, technically, my show goes till 1, but no one's after me, so we can go as long as we want.
It was against Iran, and Portugal was playing. Now, in the game before, Ronaldo had a hat trick to tie it against Spain, and that was a great game, right?
Yeah.
Against Iran, I don't remember how many they scored. I wasn't really paying attention to the score.
Ronaldo had one header.
Okay. Yeah.
Early in the game.
Pepe, I think, he got hit on the back, fell down like Melissa McCarthy got shot. It was bad, and they were flopping all game. I don't know what it is.
I watched some highlights. They were,
I don't know what it is, and this is the entire World Cup in general. I don't know what it is about soccer, but they flop worse than basketball players.
Oh, absolutely.
It's ridiculous.
Soccer definitely invented it and started it for sure.
And I don't know. It's been a decent World Cup. I think Russia's cheating because they keep winning, and they're not that good of a team. But
it's interesting. It's kind of cool.
Yeah.
It's fun to watch because they're the home team. But
it's also Russia.
Someone, I think it was Pardon My Take, they made the joke. They said, if Russia wins the World Cup, they're going to visit the White House.
Oh, that's good.
Oh, God.
But especially Portugal, Spain, that was a great game.
Yeah.
There have been some really good ones. It's just I kind of can't stand
the flopping.
The flopping is bad. The VAR.
I've come to accept it as a part of soccer.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I
saw one where Ronaldo, I think it was in the Spain game, he got bumped on the knee slightly,
and he died.
And he flew back like he was in a high school drama, and he just got pushed or something.
Well, and the reason I'm calling out Portugal is because it's so obvious and ridiculous. And then there's also
because they know their only offense is Ronaldo.
Yeah, and then there's also the VAR the video assisted refereeing, and it's like someone had a penalty where like they got their foot, or the guy was going for the ball, and the guy that was like defending it was. The guy that was defending it, he was going for the ball as well, and they caught their foot on each other, and so one guy did the splits, and they called a penalty shot on that. And it was like, they used VAR to find that out, and it was like, well, you could have just called that anyway.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think soccer's the one sport that you don't need instant replay.
I agree.
Except it's like a goal line thing, or even offsides are kind of sketchy. Because you have refs right there.
Right.
Like, instant replay
So it
should be...
yeah.
Instant replay is used for things that the refs can't see, or you want to make sure they get it right.
Instant replay, especially it's such a long game already.
Right.
So it slows it down. I think they should just implement like instituting fines for the next day, like if you flop.
Yeah, well,
that type of thing.
In the MLS, it used to be that if you flopped, you got a red card.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's the way anymore.
I have no idea.
But, I mean, it's the MLS. We don't really.
Except when Zlatan's playing.
Yeah. But it's like, if you flopped in the MLS, you got a red card. And it was good.
See, I like that.
Yeah.
Because then it takes away the ridiculousness of soccer and drawing penalties.
It'd be like if you flopped in the NBA, you got a flagrant. Like, that's exactly what it would be like.
That would be interesting.
I know it would
Now
be.
they just get a pocket change fine.
Yeah. But so...
flopping in a flagrant. Oh, my goodness.
I don't know. I don't
Rockets would be out of players.
Yeah, they would. I don't like the idea of instant replay in soccer.
Right.
There's so many refs on the field already. They're in the places where they need to because that's how it's worked out. Mm-hmm. And if you're going to get something wrong,
that's
just live with it.
Yeah. As much as sports fans complain about refs, it's part of the game.
Right.
And that's always something, especially as an athlete yourself, you have to tell yourself, refs are part of the game. It's part of the controlled climate of the game, and it's always going to affect it.
Yeah. Like, the argument against refs...
Until the day that we get artificial refs.
Yeah. Well, and that's not going to happen.
I think it will.
I think there should always be a human element to refereeing because, like, the computer doesn't give gifts. And sometimes you need that gift to, like... Because what if someone makes a bad call earlier in the game and it's like, I'm going to give you a gift because I messed up.
Yeah. Yeah.
And instead of being pissed at
I think it will happen. I don't know if it'll stick, but I think it will happen.
Yeah. I don't know. Like in football, the most that refs get complained about is like pass interference calls or ticky-tacky holding calls.
Yeah.
And yeah, that can change a game, but it's like...
Or just biased in general, calling fouls on one side. Yeah.
I don't know. In soccer, it's kind of ridiculous to...
Or in some cases when refs don't know what a touchdown versus an interception is.
That still pisses me off.
Yep.
They had...
I'm still heated just thinking about it.
NFL had that in the top 10 Hail Marys, and I was like, that's not a Hail Mary.
It's the inaccurate interception.
Yeah, or what was it called? Oh, there was another name for it. Yeah, that was it.
Yeah. I heard a lot of names for that one. I was right. I didn't go to school the next day.
I did.
I was in high school. I looked at my parents and I said, nope, sorry, not happening.
They should have given us that game back. Like if the NFL, I don't get why in any sports league if they say that the refs mess up, they should, and it's like a game changing, like on the goaltending on LeBron that wasn't called, or the shot clock violation on the Bucks that was called and it wasn't.
Yep.
If it's like a game changing thing,
something like that,
like you should give the other team the win because that screwed up our entire playoff run that year because we had to play in the wild card.
Yeah, we did.
But anyway, World Cup flopping, bad. Stop, please. It's ruining my enjoyment of what you call the beautiful game, and I don't believe it.
I agree. Okay, so going back to the NFL, I've talked about this already. I think it was on my first show that I talked about this, but the NFL holdouts, they're interesting, and we're going to look at a couple case by case because the couple names that you mentioned I want to talk about. The first one being Aaron Donald.
Yeah.
That's an interesting situation because the biggest reason that he's holding out, I have to find it out here, he's still on his rookie contract.
Okay.
So he's not getting paid. So that one I kind of understand.
Yeah, but also, like, you signed a contract, you know how much money you're making.
Right.
And it's not up to the team.
But it's his rookie contract, so it's not like he could have negotiated.
Well, you can always restructure.
Exactly. That's what he's angry about, though. I think that's why he's holding, because they haven't. He just won Defensive Player of the Year.
Yeah.
I think he's like, hey, I deserve a reconstruction or a re-sign.
Well, I mean,
that's worth more money.
But a lot of other players, because he has 1 year left on his rookie contract. It's got to be. It can't be more than.
I believe so.
He was picked in 2014, so yeah.
Current deal still on.
He
picked up his 5th-year option last year. So yeah, so they had a team option for this year. That's another big thing.
Right.
That makes a lot of sense too.
Yeah.
So they were like, we could re-sign you to more money, but we'll take the team option and pay you less.
Right, but
which I like as a team. I would do that as a team.
Yeah.
Pay him less, go get more players.
Well, I mean, the entire point of a contract and the entire point of a re-sign is that you show that you're worth it. And I guess I'm coming at this from a team perspective. It's like, okay, we're going to option you. Unless they start franchise tagging him.
Now go prove again.
Right.
Like, obviously, he was Defensive Player of the Year. Even though he missed, he got suspended. Or no, he didn't get suspended. Last year he did this because it was his contract year. They had the team option. But he did this last year, and they sat him for the first game of the year.
Right.
Because of this. But he still went on to win Defensive Player of the Year, and he led the league in a couple.
He had 11 sacks and 5 forced fumbles.
Yeah.
I don't know if he led anything, but
maybe not. But still, Defensive Player of the Year.
Right. But the thing is, like, the Rams, especially because they signed so many players. Okay, I've had that happen where that goes black.
Oh yeah, me too.
Because they signed so many players in free agency, they don't have $20 million to spend.
Yeah.
On Aaron Donald. And as a team, I'd be saying, okay, congratulations, you won DPOY. Now go do it again and show that it wasn't a fluke. Because, I mean, yeah, they had a great team, but it's the Rams, dude. Like,
they're going to be good, though.
That's what everyone says.
It's going to be them in Philly.
But there's always one super team that everyone says before the season, oh, they're going to win the Super Bowl.
But they were good last year. That's the thing. It's not like they're like a new team like I don't know, like the Eagles were a couple years ago. They were good last year. They were just young and inexperienced.
Yeah. I don't know. I just have a tendency not to believe
That's
all
fair.
the hype around big free agent signings like that. Because you
Who
had
did they sign?
Sam Shields, and they signed a bunch of defensive players.
That's true. They got Sam Shields, which isn't even the big one. They traded for Marcus Peters and Aqib Talib.
Yeah,
that's huge.
It is. But the thing is, this reminds me exactly of the Eagles going into the 2010 season, where everyone was saying they were the super team. They had Cullen Jenkins, Michael Vick, all these players, and then they lose to us in the wild card. It's like, come on. So, I don't know. I have reservations. But I get it why he's holding out. I particularly don't like it.
Me either. I said this on my show. I don't like NFL holdouts. I think players need to be less selfish and more winning-oriented and take less money.
Because if you win the Super Bowl, you get a bonus.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. I don't know. And it's just another distraction that the team has to deal with, and then the media
Even
gets
if you make the Pro Bowl.
Right.
Losing team still gets like $30,000.
Yeah, so I don't know.
So then the other name you mentioned was Le'Veon Bell.
I get why he's doing this.
I also do. Again, I don't like it. I don't agree with it. But I understand this one.
But the thing is, he got franchise tagged last year, right?
That's the biggest thing. He's the best. I think he's one of the best running backs in the league right now.
Right.
And he's getting franchise tagged.
And unlike Aaron Donald, he has a right to do this because the age of the star single back every down running back is over.
And he's not too old. He's not negotiating these contracts.
No, he's not.
He's getting franchise tagged.
Yeah.
He's being told, we're signing you, deal with it.
Right. Which is kind of like Aaron Donald, except he gave them a 5th-year option, I'm pretty sure. I'm
sure that was part of the rookie negotiations. Yeah.
So, I don't know. I know Le'Veon doesn't want to be in Pittsburgh anymore, especially because they franchise tagged him. Mm-hmm. And he has definitely a right to say this because he wants to make as much money as possible before his style of running back goes out of business. And it's happening. We were talking about before the show how many star single back every down running backs there are. There's what, 4?
I can only think of 3 or 4.
Because we had named Le'Veon,
Zeke, and David Johnson.
And I guess now thinking about it, DeMarco Murray.
Yeah,
kind of.
You could argue
they have backup
Derrick Henry's
with
behind him.
Yeah. Le'Veon's just trying to make as much money as he can before, and he's got to stop getting suspended too. That might be another reason.
Speaking of David Johnson, apparently he is too.
Yeah.
David Johnson is entering the final year of his 4-year, $2 million contract, almost $3 million contract that he signed as a third round rookie in 2005. That's a lot of money for a third round.
No, it's not.
$2 million? Oh, I spent over 4 years. Never mind.
Yeah. There is no 5th-year option on his contract.
Right.
To be honest, if I were him,
this is the final year. Like, he will be a free agent next
he's
year.
playing for the Cardinals, though, and they suck.
So I don't. Yeah,
but they have a lot of money to throw around.
They do have a lot of money. They just paid Sam Bradford a lot of money, and
that's
then they drafted
horrible sign.
And then they drafted a quarterback in Josh Rosen,
and that's a horrible pick too.
But he should have went to New York.
Yeah.
What was I gonna? Oh yeah. So and it's not like they optioned him or anything. This is the contract that he signed. Like you said,
if he really wants to get paid more money, don't play, or just don't play the entire year and let your contract expire.
Yeah. Or play and prove and don't get hurt.
Yeah.
And prove that you earn it, because
he's also,
you're gonna be a free agent next year.
Yeah.
You're gonna get more money next year. So who cares?
He's also waiting until Le'Veon gets his deal.
Oh, that's true too.
So that could be a thing.
Yeah.
Speaking of waiting until getting deals, Aaron Rodgers needs to sign a contract and stop my cholesterol level from going up.
Or he could just not.
Yeah.
I really wish that he just wouldn't, because I want the Packers to have more cap space so that they can keep improving the deal. Aaron Rodgers keeps complaining that he doesn't have help, but then he goes and he wants to be I get why he wants to be the highest paid quarterback.
Yeah.
But at the same time, don't, so that you can add to your team.
Yeah. I mean, at the point of what is he getting paid now? $20 million, $19 million a year?
Something like that.
At that point, you have the money to live comfortably for the rest of your life.
You could make that 1 year.
Especially with Danica Patrick as your girlfriend.
You could make that 1 year salary and be fine.
Yeah. So
but he's got that for multiple years.
And the thing is, all this is doing is creating media fodder so that they can write stupid pieces on ESPN about how the Packers are imploding. And it's not making me happy.
And they're not imploding. We just got a new GM and a new defensive coach.
Yeah. So, I don't know. They said he was waiting for Matt Ryan. Matt Ryan got signed 3 months ago now.
And then they drafted Calvin Ridley.
Yeah.
Which I think gives the Falcons more ammunition as far as negotiation goes, because it's hey, we got this young dude who's really talented.
Yeah.
We don't necessarily you're really good, but we could trade you and get some equal players for it.
But it's they were waiting for Matt Ryan, and Matt Ryan signed. So we were saying July. July's coming up. Sign a contract. Get it done. I just want to know how many more years I have to enjoy the Packers being a good team before they go back to the ways of the 80s.
Which is why I hope they win.
Yeah.
They need to win either this year or next year.
It's Super Bowl or bust.
Yeah.
It
honestly,
really is.
Especially
for McCarthy. If he doesn't make the divisional round, he's fired. I really think so.
Especially coming up on during the season before the trade deadline, they need to make defensive moves.
Yep.
And we've been saying this for probably 10 years now that they need to make defensive moves.
The defensive line is solid.
The defensive line is amazing.
Yeah.
I love Kenny Clark, Mike Daniels, and Muhammad Wilkerson.
Yep.
Solid. Super solid.
Move Clay to inside linebacker. Move Blake to outside.
Really?
Yeah.
I think Blake's really solid in the middle.
I mean, yeah.
Clay could also be middle.
But you need
because then we have Kyler Fackrell who
and Jake Ryan.
And Jake Ryan, who could play outside alongside Nick Perry.
Yeah, but you need Clay on the inside because he can't cover he can cover tight ends and stuff, but he can't cover those receivers, and he needs to stop getting hurt. He keeps getting hurt because he keeps getting double teamed on the outside.
That's true too. He just hasn't been. He's been on a steady. He started at his best. He started at his peak, and he's just been on a decline.
Ever since the fumble in the Super Bowl, he's.
I think
he's been on a decline.
I think he's one of the trade pieces.
People are saying that.
I think we need to trade him.
People were saying that we were going to trade him or we were going to cut him because his contract is $11 million this year.
Exactly, which is why and that's overpaid for his skill right now.
Yeah.
And so I think he is part of the trade package, hopefully, come the time. But our corners are okay, but that's where we need to improve.
Who do we bring? We brought back. Did we bring back Tremont Williams?
Yep.
Okay.
And he was solid.
Yeah, he was.
Or no. Yeah. It was him in Arizona.
Yep.
He was a shutdown in Arizona.
Yeah. Well, what that usually happens with Packers cornerbacks, they leave and then they get good.
Yeah. For
Casey Hayward.
Casey Hayward.
Well,
Pro Bowl.
Yeah. The thing about Casey Hayward is, I wonder if that's the competition because the only good team they play up in Buffalo is the Patriots.
He's in San Diego.
Is he in San Diego now?
Micah Hyde.
Oh, okay.
Micah Hyde went to Buffalo. But yeah. So
even San Diego.
They brought back Tremont Williams. And they re-signed someone else too. Devon House.
Yep.
And
That was a great signing.
they drafted Jari Alexander and Josh Jackson, who are the two of the top 3 corners in the draft.
My only worry is that they're a little short. They're both around 6 feet.
Yes. Josh Jackson has the athleticism too. He proved in college that he could guard the taller guys. So
Didn't he have 2 pick sixes against Wisconsin?
Yes. Which is why I was really happy when I drafted him. He's got hands. I like him. And Jari Alexander, he's got the cover ability. He's able to make up for his size.
Yeah.
He's a very shutdown dude if he can translate to the NFL.
Which, with a new defensive staff, probably going to be able to.
Exactly.
I've heard a lot of good things about Patton.
Yeah.
Is it bad that I'm excited about Deshaun Kaiser?
No, I am too. I saw a report on ESPN. It was like the Packers
Yesterday.
backup. Yeah, it was the Packers backup situation is becoming heated. I said,
Right.
no, it should be Deshaun Kaiser.
Yeah, because the thing with Hundley...
I like him a lot.
I do too. The thing with Hundley is they played him wrong. With Hundley, just run read options all the time, get him out of the pocket, get him running.
They tried to make him Aaron.
Yeah, and
They didn't change the offense.
No, they didn't. And that's on
ridiculous.
McCarthy. That's on McCarthy so much more than it is on Hundley.
Ridiculous. Absolutely. But I like Deshaun more.
Yeah.
He has more potential.
Right. I think Hundley's gone.
Yeah.
After the
and Deshaun's just more in that scheme. He's more of a pocket passer.
And he got a short straw in Cleveland. Like, he really did. I feel bad for the guy.
I feel bad for any Cleveland quarterback.
So, I think Green Bay, if they can read what type of quarterback they have a great quarterback staff. But, so I think it'll be good. Aaron just got to sign a freaking contract already.
I mean, we have him under contract, so I'm not worried.
Yeah, but he's only got 1 more year, and then it becomes like a Brett Favre will he, won't he thing. And that becomes a distraction.
I agree.
And then you have people wearing Rodgers jerseys at training camp saying, we want Aaron when Deshaun's starting. So,
yeah.
I don't know. I think we're going to have a 3rd Hall of Fame dynasty quarterback. Train never stops. No breaks.
Oh, man. Okay. We'll call that a show.
Okay.
So, actually, one last thing. So, my one last thing, going back to the NBA draft, I think Michael Porter Jr. will be a bust.
Yeah.
Only because he's in Denver.
Oh.
Because much like, I believe, Emmanuel Mudiay a couple years ago was the number 2 pick for Denver. 2 or 3. He was the top 3. Denver picked him, and now he's in New York backing up someone for the Knicks. He was a great talent coming out of China, and he had a lot of upside to him, but a lot of risk. And now it's the same thing. Michael Porter Jr. doesn't have a lot of you don't have a lot to go off of because he didn't play a lot in college, and he's got a lot of risk. So I really don't think Denver is going to be able to handle him, and they're just not a good team. So
right.
I think MPJ is going to bust.
Yeah, and I think he's going to get hurt. So
probably that too.
Because the NBA is a dangerous
He'll be
game.
a lot like a Markelle Fultz type of thing.
Yeah. My one last thing is that there are going to be no good wide receivers in the NFL within 5 years.
Really?
Because they don't know how to run routes in college. that was the wide receiver class this year was weak as all get.
Yeah, because really the only good one that I can think of, even off the top of my head, is Calvin Ridley.
And he was drafted like 7th, 8th, 9th?
He was top 10, I think.
Okay. But it's like they don't know how to run route. One of the biggest complaints before the draft that I was reading was that wide receivers in college don't know the route tree.
I've heard that.
They just run into space and they get open, which is great for college.
Which is why when you hear someone in the draft say that this receiver is a good route runner, it's big.
It's big. Yeah.
It's really big. Which is why I think Devontae Adams is going to be really good.
Yeah.
He's a good route runner.
Thank God we re-signed
And Geronimo.
Yep. But that's my one big thing. It's going to keep happening because college coach they're not developing these kids for the NFL. They're developing these kids so they can win championships. And they're not developing them for the route tree. They're developing them to get into space and get open. Saw what happened with Tua at the last pass. Like, he just ran a fly route straight towards the end zone and got past his guy.
Yeah.
And it was a touchdown. So, I don't know. I think that, in general, I think that NFL talent is going to start going down because the concussions and all that. But I think that the wide receivers are going to get hit first because they're not developing them right in college and in high school.
You can almost make that argument that running backs are already doing that.
Yeah. Yeah.
You could almost make that argument that the running backs are already on that decline. But yeah, okay, so thank you everyone for listening. My show is live every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from noon to 1 on WSUW 91.7 The Edge. I will record every show, make it available to listen to via podcast on YouTube and SoundCloud. I'm back on SoundCloud now. I caved.
Oh, congratulations.
Subscription. So just search First Round KO anywhere. The links are on my Facebook and Twitter and Instagram. And, subscribe to any of those and shoot me a comment. Let me know you're listening. Remember... Oh, hold on. Yeah, remember that you miss 100% of the shots that you don't take, so go shoot your shot. I'll see you guys on Monday.
This again, things are getting eerie like the lake that's down in Michigan. Had a good year, kinda tired, we're the Michelin. At the finish line, go get the checkered flag. Take a couple more shots, that's extended mag. I don't mean to brag, you smell this in the bag. I pull up solo at the function, I'm a tennis stag. Stone cold bachelor, acid rapping chancellor. Couple years in amateur, but never had a chance where you see me as a challenge.